It's Championship Sunday. You're watching StarCraft 2 Heart of the Storm. We have 3 players left. We started with 128 and 3 very good players indeed. Polt, Hyun, and Hero. Polt is already in the final of this tournament. We're trying to find out who's going to join them. Who's going to join him, I should say. It's going to be either Hero or Hyun.
Hyun looks so convincing on that last map. I mean, one thing that trademarks Hyun is his just absolute beastly macro. This guy can max out so fast. I mean, remember we talked about the Aklon Waste Game 3 they had in the winner's bracket?
Yes.
If you think back on that map,
yep.
He was cannon rushed. He had to build 2 spines extremely early, 8 Zerglings. Like, his early economy was butchered, right? I mean, it could have been worse than like he's 6-0, but it was a pretty rough spot.
Sure.
He still maxed out with Hive Tech before the 13-minute mark.
Hyun seems to be on another level. I mean, again, he has yet to drop a set in this entire tournament. You know who else has yet to drop a set?
Polt.
Some people in the audience were like, yeah, Polt, you guys are smart. Yeah, Polt, of course, waiting in the final, has yet to drop a set. We'll have to see if Hyun can join him. Hyun is 1 game away. But he has a challenger, and his challenger is pretty darn good at StarCraft 2. Your Red Protoss player in the top right-hand location. A situation where he must win 3 in a row here to advance to the final of the MLG Spring Championship event. Representing Team Liquid, he is Hero. His opponent in the bottom left-hand location of Neo Planet S. Your Blue Zerg player who is 1 win away from advancing to the final to play Polt. Representing Team Quantic Gaming, he is Hyun. So do you think that last game might have been a map familiarity thing, possibly?
You know, I don't necessarily think so. I think it was the way Hero's build worked out.
Sure.
You know, he was really anticipating being able to do damage with that War Prism. Because Hyun had an untouched early economy, right?
Yes.
Think about Hero's first attack with 2 Stalkers, a Zealot, and a Mothership Core. Not only did Hyun not build any Roaches, but he defended that with only like 6 Zerglings and 2 Queens. An insanely efficient defense that really, Hero's army could have beaten it. It's just that his Mothership Core was a little bit too exposed, and then he was forced to recall because of that, even though he had enough Stalkers and his Zealot probably could have taken the ground force. So his first attack didn't work out. Hyun had a great economy. Then he went into War Prism, and the War Prism did absolutely nothing. Hyun was able to parry it perfectly. So even though his third got up fine, it wasn't a very fast third, and his harass attempts were just deflected amazingly by Hyun. So he was a little bit behind, and then he was caught off guard again, and it's kind of like 3 strikes, you're out, right? Those 3 things in a row. And Hyun, against a guy with Hyun's macro, you just can't afford to do that.
And to kind of explain that a little bit easier to some of y'all who might not be as familiar you know, with StarCraft 2 necessarily, Zerg is all about the drones, right? If Zerg can get a lot of drones on the field, they're very happy. So like the first few minutes of the game, right? The first 4, 5, 6, 7 minutes, it's all about how many drones can the Zerg get on the field, making as few units as possible so they can get their economy up there. Because once they get a lot of drones, they can just use all their larvae on making units.
Hero's doing something a little crazy here, man.
That is Twilight Castle.
This is going to be a Dark Templar rush. And you know what? Hyun hasn't seen it. So Hyun's assuming it's a gateway expand. If Hyun builds Zerglings and sends them to check the progress at a Nexus, that'll tip him off that a Nexus is about 40 seconds later than it would be in a normal gateway expand opening. But so far, he hasn't got any Zerglings.
Wow. Also, he doesn't have an Overlord at that general spot outside the natural. But go on.
Actually, yeah, you're right. He's in his second Overlord to check for any type of proxies on the left side, and his third is going over to the right. It's not going to go over, even if it wants to get that natural area, it's not going to get there.
Because there's a little ledge right above the natural of the Protoss where an Overlord can hang out, right there, that our observer is showing us. But we see an Overlord is not there. When an Overlord is there, you can kind of identify, okay, what's in my opponent's wall in front of his natural, what's the timing of the Nexus, and then you can start to predict when these things start happening.
This probe sneaking around the bottom right. Of course, when you're Dark Templar rushing, you really want to get a proxy piling up because Dark Templar are all about how fast they get to your opponent's base and how much time they have to do their damage. So the closer you can warp them into your opponent, the better damage you'll do. Now, the Zerglings are coming in here, but I don't think they're going to see anything that's really going to tip them off unless they can get in there and notice the exact Nexus timing.
Mothership Core going to be there. The Link's going to try to squeeze on through. Another building being added on there.
Now, I mean,
and when you scout this as a Zerg, it could just seem like that simple 4-gate aggression push.
It very easily could. looks like it's
What is the sentry?
The sentry's
Is he stuck?
He's stuck. He rallied out in
Sentry.
between the 3 mineral patches and the gateway.
You had one job.
You know, this happens when you build your buildings behind the minerals and you're rally pointed. This is why warp gates are awesome for Protoss. You can teleport wherever you want. And of course, a sentry is worth more than a gateway. So that's why he's going ahead and killing that gateway.
Oh, 2 speedlings coming here trying to take down that probe. A force field does go down. Oh, the
he
ling!
misses.
Oh, he doesn't see the pylon.
He misses the proxy pylon. Of course, at the front,
hold on a
Hero's
second.
going to be fine with the sentry here.
Okay, yep. Is he able to clean that up? Now, oh, a link did get inside.
Oh, where'd those come from?
I don't know. Oh.
They must have snuck by somehow.
Wow, so he knows about the Dark Side. 2 Spore Crawlers are in production, and again, Hero is investing a lot into this. Okay, 2 Dark Templars coming forward, but the 3rd base isn't at the bottom. So
I mean, the natural is going to be defended. Now, if Hero can anticipate the natural will be defended, he goes straight to the 3rd and probably cancel that.
another pylon being added on.
You know, Hyun's been annoying. These Zerglings are very expendable, but the DTs are really what's going to tell the story. Now, sometimes I've seen DTs do damage even to a Spore there because the Zerg won't have enough units to even kill the DTs. And in fact here, okay, there's Speedings.
Yeah.
Yep, he's got to get out of the range of the Spore. Oh, he just barely gets out of vision range just in the nick of time. Now he's going to head to the 3rd base and see if he can cancel that. Looks like that base is going to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
Hyun does have a lair just finished right now, so he's making an Overseer.
Oh, he's going to stop attacking it.
Yeah, with only one DT, wouldn't be able to kill it.
Spore Crawler, go!
Oh, he's going for Spore
Now,
Crawler.
an unburrowed Spore Crawler cannot see the DTs, for those of you wondering.
They
And
do burrow
he's gonna
quickly,
get,
but not quickly enough.
He's going to get taken out. Oh, try to drop the creep at the Spore! Fish out of water. Not going to happen. 2 DTs, though. Then Overseer is there. The Lings will get the surround.
And that's a lot of investment. I mean, all he really killed was a Spore Crawler. Sure, he forced a couple of extra spores to be built, but this is a big win for Hyun. And the biggest difference here isn't necessarily the cost of the Dark Shrine. It's a 150, 150. It's the opportunity cost because he invested in that. He didn't invest in Stargate units to take map control. He didn't invest in a Sentry Force to scare his opponent. Upgrades or a faster Nexus is a big deal. So the problem here is that now is, and yes, he still has some resources to play with, but he doesn't have a good tech to deal with Speed Roaches. He doesn't have Void Rays or Sentry Immortal.
Yeah, Hyun doing all the right things here, identifying exactly what his opponent was doing and then reacting appropriately, making sure to completely shut down the Dark Templars. Hero going to try to make something happen. As 3 DTs coming forward, he's got a Sentry, he's got a Zealot, a Mothership Core overhead as well. Remember, he has 4 gateways behind this, so he can orbit some more units. Might try to rely on like sniping detection or something so the DTs can get their damage done, but Hero definitely in a bit of a tough situation at this moment.
He's trying to get in the Forge, the Blink, the Robotics, adding more probes. He's got a couple sentries still stuck in the main, actually. It gave up. It's like, I don't want to kill you, Gateway. We'll be friends.
Well, he's killing the Overseer.
You know what? If Zerglings get in the main base to harass, that sentry can defend the workers.
He can also hallucinate.
That's true. That's a very good point. Hallucination scouts can be very valuable.
Yep.
So what Hyun's doing from here is making nothing but speed roaches, and this is a very, very great reaction to a DT opening because you know their Robotech's going to be late, and with a later Robotech, on a map like Neoplanet S, you can often just spam speed roaches. And that's great if they go for 2-base timing. Speed roaches are great there. And also, if they try to take a 3rd, you can often overwhelm it.
There's the Photon Overcharge onto the Nexus, and Immortal immediately being chronoboosted here by Hyun, trying to break through. 2 force fields going down here with a solid defense so far. Remember, he's been behind before. He knows how to react in this situation, but he's going to have to play perfectly to come back in this game.
There's 2 Overseers out there. If Hero can snipe those off, maybe get warping some more DTs to defend. Hyun is really, I mean, he's on 3 bases. This is almost icing on the cake. Now,
got a force field. No, one of the sentries going down. Only 1 force field going to go down, and an Immortal is trying to get Cornerverse. He gets out onto the field. The probes trying to protect the Immortal. Hyun trying to force his way through to target that guy down here with phenomenal control so far, but losing a lot of probes. And at this point, any trade Hyun can make with these roaches is a good trade.
It is. I mean, this is not your 55 drone 3-base roach on. This is a 70-something drone 3-base roach. Let me see if I can trade to keep your army small because as long as Hero has to keep using those forces, as long as his sentry count is low, the roaches are going to continue to be more and more effective as the game progresses.
Hero does end up holding off that roach push. If there's a guy who can make this comeback happen, it is most certainly Hero. We saw it almost happen in Game 3 on Akalon Waste. I know a lot of people remember that. The Protoss is a race all about those expensive units. Can you keep those expensive units alive? Because you can. You know, it's a big deal to have an economy, but as long as you can keep your expensive units alive and be stupidly cost efficient with them, you do have a chance to come back in a game.
Hero's doing a cute little trick here over at the south kind of portion of the map. He's delaying all the creep spray with a DT just hanging out there. He knows there's a Tection in the bases, but you can still put those DTs out on the map to stop that creep spread. Your opponent not only has to send Speedings there, but also an Overseer to help deal with that Dark Templar.
Yeah, tricks are definitely something needs.
It's bringing an Observer in, so now you can actually push back that creep. Anytime you put your opponent more into Dark, that's always a good sign. And he knows the Roaches are up here, so he's safe to go ahead and said, oh no. Ooh.
Yep,
Blinked out just in time. That Immortal better scurry back.
There's only one sentry there.
Roaches are backing up.
Wow. DT cleaning up this creep. Great move there from Hero. Of course, the more you can deny that creep, the more you deny your opponent's movement, their vision, so on and so forth. That DT being very efficient indeed. And Heroes making those small steps to try to crawl back here. Robo Bay about to finish, so likely to go into Colossus production.
So Hero has got to find a way to make a super cost-efficient engagement.
Oh, the sentry saved, by the way.
War Prison comes in, saves that little guy. A good time to do it as well, man. He's going to need every force field he can get because Hyun is at 150 supply here with a lot of drones. He's getting the infestation bit behind us. Hero looks like he wants to take a third base, and there was a little something over there. I think it was a Hallucination Scout. Yeah, Hallucination Scout flying around. And what Hero's doing is he's not trying to defend that third Nexus.
Did Hyun see that third there? Because
no,
I don't see a reason not to go in there and try to deny that.
He missed it.
Wow, that could be really good for Hero because when the Nexus finishes, you can now Photon Overcharge. You can start setting up the Sim City. And that, again, that's a slow process and trying to come back. Also distracting on the top left, and this is buying him time at that third base because Hyun is worrying about these stalkers, but now he sees it. With this overload, he's going to drop creep there, but now identifying that the Nexus is there. It's about 80% of the way done.
That creep will prevent him from building the gateway wall around the cannon. Of course, against Roach Hydra, not as important as against Blink Stalker, but still every little move is a nice thing to do.
Hero has to control this miraculously. Can he make it happen? The Time Warp going down. That's a good start. The Colossus coming for another Time Warp, trying to trap these Roaches. Force field going down, trapping about 5 or 6 more. And again, more importantly, the third of Hero is getting up right now. But Hyun is not done. More and more units being sent forward here, trying to kite away. The force fields need to be true. The Colossus needs to be kited back. The Roaches coming forward, going to try to kite and take that guy out. The Immortals doing a great job so far. Wow, really good force fields there from Hero. Controlling this pretty decently, but probes are going to be caught trying to transfer, and Hyun actually getting a lot of good trades here.
Man, Hero's micro is amazing. Hyun has so much supply, but Hero looks like he may hold off this wave. The third base is still alive. Hyun's being forced back. The Overseer goes down as well.
The Stalker's even blinking forward, trying to get some more units. The Hydras aren't too great in cross-country races, so they're going to have to try to make their way back to the creep. The Stalker's blinking after them, trying to take down every unit he can get. Again, every single unit Hero can take out is so important, and his third is up.
Hero's got to be so careful about overextending. He knows that Hyun can reproduce very quickly, so he's backing up, says, you know what? That was a nice fight. That was a victory, but I still have a lot of work to do. We've got to back up, resupply. Thermal Lance is now done, so the Colossi will be even more effective. He's added another sentry or two back to his composition. The force fields are going to be key, but Hyun has found a way to deal with that force field Colossi composition. He's adding the Vipers into his combination.
Vipers, something you kind of need. High Templars, I guess if you're miraculous with your Blink Stalker play and the Vipers overextend, you can do that, but again, that's relying on Hyun making a mistake. So we'll have to see when Hero can identify this, because once those Vipers can pull those Colossus into the range of Roaches and Hydras, force fields won't do much at all. We'll have to see if Hero can make this drop warp, because 4 Zealots approaching his opponent's main base. But it looks like some units already down there from Hyun.
I love how Hero is so active with Blink Stalkers, trying to keep the creep pushed back as far as possible. Anytime you want to be defensive, got to be careful. He's going to blink out. He should not lose more than 1 or 2 of these Stalkers. Of course, Speedings are faster. Roaches are barely faster. With Blink, he's able to get back out of there. And this is so important, both if he wants to make Hyun scared about different potential attacks, it hurts his vision. And also, Zerg reinforcements crossing the map are going to reinforce much slower.
Hero knows he has to play the game of his life here. He does not want to go anywhere in the MLG Spring Championship. Hyun trying to close the door, trying to advance himself to the final. We got a Roach attack heading to this third base. Hyun coming in from multiple directions. Deja vu from the last game. Hyun coming forward. There's 3 Colossi in the back door, but there the Viper abducts onto the Colossus here, trying to pull those back, but targeting them down is Hyun, trying to take those out. Only 1 remains. No! The Colossus running towards the Roach and the Hydras. There's not enough. Yes, the Blinding Cloud limiting the range of that Colossus. Hero losing almost everything. Hyun is up 280 in supply, on the verge of taking this game. There's Roaches in the third, killing everything. DT's going to try to make something happen. There's no Overseer in this composition, so Hero might have a bit of breath left, but
he's still alive?
Yeah, those 4 DTs have to just slice all this stuff up.
They're doing work, man.
No
14 Overseers.
14 overseers are in the production tab for Hyun. Make that 16. Either he really wants to see those DTs or he's trying to make a statement here at the MLG Spring Championship event. Hero is
You're not sniping that many overseers. Look at them all coming with the army.
Gosh.
It's a whole herd of overseers.
Hyun going to the finals in style, or at least trying to. Hero gonna have to try to make something happen, going for a drop at the top of the map. But this third base, this is going to be the last stand for Hero in the MLG Spring Championship event. Lots of Stalkers, a Colossus, but here come the Roaches, here come the Hydras, there's the Viper Abduct onto the Colossus. So much Zerg here from Hyun, from Quantic Gaming, going to take out this third base.
He's got a lot of Zealots.
No, those are Hyun Zealots, my friend.
Oh. Shoot.
And this,
they looked red.
You know, I forgive you, Nick.
Well, he's killing top left, but man, Hyun, his macro is too insane.
Oh, the Overseers flying overhead, seeing what's going on, but Hero, this is the end of Hero at the MLG Spring Championships. Hyun will most certainly take the 4-1 victory. Hyun has yet to drop a set in the MLG Spring Championships. Hero trying to make it happen, trying to come back in this extended series, but he's not going to have enough, trying to drop the top. But there's the GG, and Hyun will advance to the final, which means Polt versus Hyun will be your final match of the MLG Spring Championship. Neither player has dropped a set. Hyun from Quantic Gaming takes down Hero 4-1. Very sportsmanlike.
What great Zerg play there.
Guys, give it up for Hyun! Wow. Wow, what phenomenal, what commanding play there from Hyun, and how more appropriate to have the two players who have yet to drop a set in this tournament face off against each other in the finals.
They both defeated so many world-class opponents on the way here. Other Koreans, the best from Europe, the best from the Americas. It's just been a phenomenal road for both these guys. We're going to see them in the finals, and it's going to be a very exciting match. But TVZ, and we haven't seen too many TVZs today, man.
If there's a TVZ to watch, it's going to be this one. Guys, the finals of the MLG Spring Championships, brought to you by Day 9 and DJ Wheat. It's going to be Hyun versus Polt. No reason to go anywhere. Stay tuned. The final.